control, but
for sure.
Yeah,
it seems to be functional too. Everything looks to be working great, right? Cooling pad seems to be a W so far.
It's actually pretty cool. I didn't like. Yeah. Oh, I wasn't even going for that. But I did that though. Yeah, I am literally retro in every sense of the word. I don't know what has come out since 2005. I just don't know. So all this stuff is new to me. I could get Madden 17 tomorrow and be like, this is the greatest thing ever. Except, by the way, tip of the cap to you. Thank you so much for the giveaway that I happen to be so lucky to get. Hey, look at this guy. So I got to remember it's over there. So, so you boot up and all right, hang on. Let me go to my notes because I've had beer now. I'm not even going to hide the fact that I wrote notes.
Attaboy.
So how long had you been playing Madden before you decided to stream it? Were you always keeping up with the new games and everything? Were you into it early? Like, did you go back to the retro zone? Were you?
I was tapped in as a viewer. I've been huge on video games all the time, and I was big time tapped in as I was playing. They have a weekend league, which is the kind of the competitive space in Madden for the weekends. If you won some games during the week, you could play against like all the best players and they keep your record and whatever. So I was playing that in Madden 20 , which is now even it came out in 19, right?
Yeah. They always do the year ahead.
Yep. Right. Exactly. So it wasn't until I tapped in with the CFM with this league that we were playing that streaming even came to mind. But it has so many overlaps with what I was doing in personal training, like the classes I was conducting, having to talk to many people at once. And the idea that you want to make everyone there feel like they're attended to, despite there being many of them and only one of me. It was a skill that I kind of was honing constantly in personal training. I could, and that served its purpose too. It just folded into streaming even more so. I would have clients that didn't like to talk at all. So I could talk to myself throughout a full hour session. I know this might shock you, coming in and popping in on some streams every once in a while, Nate, but I'm here to tell you, I can talk up a storm.
Make a note. Fendler can speak. Okay, got it. Fendler goes down word roads without clearly marked exits. I like that as a command. One of the days we're going to make that a command in your channel.
That maybe tomorrow we'll get in touch with DT Wings.
That's right. Sheety Wings for Poke Mondays. I know we got so much to talk about. We're going to have to do this again eventually because I don't want to keep it up super late. But so I have a question.
Hit me.
How good are you? How good are you at Madden? Like, because I look at you and I'm like, this guy, I mean, you played center in college. I'm like, this is the dude who's like, there's the mic and he's out. You're like, I'm just sitting here. Like, I'm the dad who's like, hang on. Oh, that's the X button. Okay. Like, I have no clue. And you're sitting here like, oh, this is this formation. And I got this front and I got these. The corners are playing at 50 and whatever. I don't know what the hell you're saying. But like, to me, you're like I'm upset when you don't win because I'm like, this is the best human there is. So keep going. I
get upset too, man.
Oh, I know. I've been there.
Yeah. I don't like that either. It's all relative, I suppose, right? So like I'd beat a guy that hasn't played Madden this year by 70 points, but I don't know. I'm like I'm above average. I'm not so good that I won't be making any money off of Madden. My crowning achievement though, and this is really cool because I'm still getting
it happened recently.
Yeah, it did happen recently. I'm still getting some mileage out of this one. The coolest thing that happened is at the end of Madden 21, so at the end of our last year's game, I was really good. I was winning. I think I was on a streak like 50 games, and now all like these professional players are starting to seek me out. They all wanted to play me, and this gentleman named JonBeast, this young man named JonBeast came to the chat one time. He's talking a bunch of mess. He said, "Fen, I'm gonna spank you up and down the field. Let's get a friendly." Ran a series with him, a series of 3 games, best of 3, and I beat this young gentleman JonBeast in the series of 3. Fast forward now to Madden 22. I'm getting some mileage out of this, Nate, because my man JonBeast won the first competitive Madden championship to the tune of $40,000. Like a ladder like ladders with like 200 something people in them, and then that's a single elimination bracket. He had to beat the bricks off of just everybody. And he like came to my chat like this week and was like, "Oh, let me get my re," and he beat my ass. He beat my behind.
But, you gave him the re?
Listen. I gave him the re because he was a belt winner. Okay. He was literally a belt winner, and it was good promo.
All the
to have
more
a belt winner.
no. Oh, terrible. We're going to talk about this in the business meeting. All the more incentive to never give him another chance.
Never give him
listen, I was a kid. I was like 14, 15 years old. I'm in church youth group. I'm playing basketball against my leader at the time. Okay. Nice guy. We've like grown up. We golf together. He's a nice guy. And he beat me every time. I get to like senior year. I'm 17. I'm growing up. I play him. We play best, first to 11, got to win by 2. He beats me 23-21. Never again. So every time he sees me, he goes, "Who's the champ?" I have to go, "You're the champ. I've never beaten," because he will never play me again. So you missed your chance. God, yeah, we talk to me before anything before. Okay,
right. Yeah, I gotta consult you, but that's really cool. So I'm still getting some.
That's great.
Some mileage out of that. I'm like more competitive, I think, than the average Madden streamer, but like I'm not. Some of these kids to be really good at Madden. I mean, you have to be. You got to nothing else to do and scratch and claw and just do things that I don't want to be. I don't want to have to do those things.
That's yeah. I got you. Well, I mean, to the certainly to the untrained eye, the guy who's like doesn't know which way from up. The show that's put on, the way that you can even just talk through like the mindset behind the adjustments you make and all that stuff. It's like, it's really beneficial even to somebody who just is a casual player who just is getting into it recently. It's even just helped me. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. You got to set your defensive depths and you got to try this and that. To someone who really enjoys like watching football, playing, like doing fantasy football, which we'll talk about in a second. Like it's really beneficial to somebody who's not played to glean something from it. So my hat's off to you for that. So for somebody now maybe this is the last question I want to ask before we kind of move towards some other things, but what have you seen in the Madden community that is unique, different? I've observed the stream for a while. I've noticed some things, but what is it about the Madden community specifically? Like give me, I don't know, the pro con list, like the short list of what you've seen, because you've had to deal with some fun stuff in chat, and you've and some really good stuff in chat. So
for sure. I mean, I suppose it's going to be like any other director. It's gonna have its jokers. A defining feature of Madden is that a lot of the community really like kind of intakes it daily and has the most to do with it and is the most hands-on. We're very vocal, and a lot of times a lot of the narrative is very much negative. Sometimes it's justified in the way that it's negative, but a lot of times it's just consistently complaining, which is kind of tough. Yeah. I wouldn't call it a crisis, and I think that's overstating it.
Would your PS5 controller call it a crisis?
Which one? The one that's alive, or hold on? Will it be in the shot? It is in the shot. I don't know if I showed you this.
It's still there?
Can I show you this?
You haven't touched
it's still on the ground, yeah.
I love it.
No, I didn't touch it. I left it there, so now every time I get upset, I get like the reaction like I want to throw my good controller, which yet lives. That's the carcass of the controller that didn't make it through launch. But, yeah. That's in any case.
To those of you in the chat, that is a rage goal for everybody. Okay.
It's not. It's so bad. It's the dumbest thing I've done. But yeah, so I think the Madden community can be a little bit hard to please, and like I wouldn't call it a crisis yet, but we this year are finding kind of the lowest numbers in a lot of important categories: Twitch, YouTube, viewership. We're seeing declines in a lot of important ways over not just the last 1, but the last 2 years.
Really?
Which is a little bit concerning. The Madden had a really, really bad launch. Like I could give the details that wouldn't be super relevant to somebody who isn't really tapped into Madden, but take my word for it that the player base had good reason to really feel disrespected in a lot of ways. EA is making it more clear that this is indeed a capitalist venture. They are a for-profit entity, and the line that okay, sure, but they're also providing us this good thing, and these things that we like
Yeah.
is becoming a little bit blurred, and it's a little less of that.
Sure.
Like I said, like the specifics were pretty egregious, but launch of the game was bad. The
Hmm.
game doesn't quite feel as fun. Madden is unique in the way that it's, sports games are like this a lot, in the way that it's released every single year. So you might prefer playing the Madden that was out 2 years ago more than enjoy playing this one. So
Oh
um,
six.
Okay, or you could be all the way back to '06. So this game, in comparison with some others, is being met with more criticism. It seems like people are a little more frustrated based on how we're being treated, from the company itself, and it is indeed reflected in views.
Hmm.
Things like hosting. Um, uh, I did Madden Live last year. We'd have a host of, you'd have 2,000, 3,000 people in your
Wow.
stream. It was so great. You'd meet a whole bunch of new people and get all these new follows. And it was a great experience, great thing for the directory. That's just not anymore. They're not doing any Madden Live at all anymore.
Wow.
Last year, they had a morning show that was 5 mornings a week. Now it's 3 mornings a week. They thought about rating out this audience they had of
Hmm.
8,000 people of this morning show and just keeping it in the directory. They don't do that. So
Wow.
it's not like a cause for panic or concern or anything. It's encouraged me to remember something I knew. And it's strange. It's like, just a couple minutes ago, I was talking about how, the plight of the variety streamer, and
Hmm.
how it's be so much more difficult to get off the ground. And I think while that's true, it's like now I'm circling back to all these same considerations that a good variety streamer has. Not getting rat holed into a directory, having it be more
Hmm.
about the streamer and the experience than it is about the game or the
Yeah.
content.
Yeah.
Or I don't want to have to rely on EA to put out a game that's fun, to make it fun
Mm.
for the whole year, to have content that's good, to treat players well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to fall on my face in what I'm doing right now if EA falls on its face and the game sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, given the state of Madden right now, it's kind of encouraged me to do a couple other things, like stay creative and stay mobile. Don't be afraid to take a viewer cut to do something different. Been playing Pokemon 3 weeks in a row, which has been awesome.
What
Um,
take me through the uh courage to do that? Like seriously, what was it like? Because I mean, as a one game streamer, I can imagine that's intimidating, right? Like, what's gonna
it
happen?
is intimidating, and I've seen the other side of it too, right? Like, while I was on the chase for, you got to, it shows you your average and it updates your,
Yeah.
you got to have such like a hyper focus on who's in your stream, and then you're thinking about who's not in your stream and who
Yeah.
you wish would be. And
Yeah.
so I remember hating it so much when I pretty much made the conscious decision that I had to stop playing Among Us on Saturday nights. I was
Hmm.
doing a weekly Among Us party. The adults would have beverages and
Yeah.
we'd have 10 people, and it would be a party, everyone in the Discord laughing and joking, and man, oh man, did we laugh and stay up just till all hours of the morning
Hmm.
on Saturday nights. And I was, how blessed was I to be pulling in 40, 50 people, and it was just amazing. And you love
Yeah.
to have that many people that will come hang out with you on a Saturday night. But for the path to partner, it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. Every time, every single Saturday night stream, as long as I was on, was how much of my average was getting cut down, and how
Sure.
much
Sure.
ground I was going to have to make up during the week in Madden. And I just hated that. So, like, kind of keeping that at the forefront of
Hmm.
my mind after, getting super proud of achieving partnership. That was a really cool accomplishment for me and for Emily, who helped me with all my emotes and my branding, and has been a huge part of this as well. Kind of remembering what that felt like and being like, you did all that, you cut Among Us on Saturday nights,
Yeah.
and didn't stream until 11 a.m. on Mondays, and you jumped through all these hoops and did all this dancing around these metrics so that you could play Spider-Man Miles Morales if
Yeah.
you wanted to for 60 people. You could
Hmm.
play Pokemon for 100 once a week if you want to. You could do a talk show and cut the viewers completely and not even give a care who's there
Hmm.
at all. And going through and having to, just that moment of like, this sucks that I can't do that, I shouldn't be doing this anymore. I have
Hmm.
conflicting goals. Like, I
Yeah.
wanted to be a good showman and have a place that everyone wanted to come hang out. And it was conflicting with what I wanted to achieve for the channel, which was at the time partnership. So it's like
Mm.
it wasn't as much like, I don't know, being brave to hop into a different category. It was just like I paid this
You
dude
paid your due.
already. And I
Yeah.
think it's such a shame. It's such a paradox that I get it. I understand that it's an empirical measure,
Yeah.
one of the many that you could gauge the health of a stream. I do understand it, but it's a shame that in so many instances it diverts focus from the quality of the show to just the amount of viewers, just an
Yeah.
arbitrary
Yeah.
number. And then you got
Yes.